Out front tonight, Stephen Moore, who is senior economic advisor to the Trump campaign, and Zeke Emanuel, former Obama White House health policy advisor. Thanks to both. Zeke, let me start with you. About 6 million Americans, just under, receive these subsidies. We're talking about people who make less than $30,000 or for a family of four, less than $61,000. Just to give people an understanding of what this means, if you have a deductible of $3,600, these subsidies can make sure that you're paying only a few $100s. What is the impact of this move, Zeke?
Well, it means that insurance companies aren't going to be compensated for the subsidies to help people pay the deductibles and the co-pays. As a consequence, they're going to raise their premiums. And the most recent estimate from the Urban Institute just a few hours ago is they'll go up 23%. Lots of people also, with the premiums going up, a lot of people will stop buying insurance. It's estimated about 1 million people will stop buying insurance. So those are two big effects. And then because the premiums go up, the federal government has to give people subsidies to help buy health insurance, and the federal government's bill will go up by $200 billion over 10 years. So it's like a triple whammy, pretty bad policy, and it does not answer what the president has said, which is to give people more choice and better health care.
What do you say, Steve?
Well, that's what it's all about for Trump, is a lot more choices and a lot more competition, which is what you don't have under Obamacare. I mean, you know, what Zeke was just talking about, my goodness, people might have to face higher premiums and people might drop out of the insurance market. That's what's happening now under Obamacare, big time. I mean, I just got back from Arizona, a state where, you know, the premiums have doubled in just the last 2 years. So, you know, you've got these exploding costs. And I think, look, the reality that I think so many in the media have not been covering is that Obamacare is in a financial collapse, and it's within 2 or 3 years.
That is totally wrong, Steve.
It is in a total state of wait, Zeke, let me just finish on this.
That is total. But it's wrong.
Finish your sentence, Steve, then Zeke's going to jump in.
When you have people, what you have, Zeke, under the situation that you all developed is you have healthy people dropping out of the insurance market and sick people signing up. And that's the reason that the premiums are going up so much. You know, the promise was that the average family was going to save $2,500 on their health insurance. And average families, I mean, I talk, Aaron, to people all the time. They're saying, I can't afford it anymore. It's $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 more per year.
Let's get to the facts.
All right.
Let's get to the facts.
Yeah,
both the Congressional Budget Office and Standard & Poor's have said that prior to this announcement by the president, the exchanges are stable and they're fine.
Yeah, Standard & Poor's, they said to me this year we'd start to see those increases coming way down, those cost increases.
Add to that in 2018, no county is bare without an insurance company in it. And the fact is that premiums have gone up because before, the insurance companies didn't know who was in the market. Now we know who's in the market. And it doesn't add to get healthy young people buying insurance to tell them we're not going to enforce the mandate. It's a joke, and to badmouth the exchange. That doesn't help get people in. So Zeke, and the president has been doing that
Zeke, can I ask you a crucial question, though, here on this issue of subsidies?
Yeah.
Are they helping make health insurance more affordable for people who can't afford it? Or are they enabling health insurance companies to plump up the cost of it because people are getting money and essentially charge even more?
No. The insurance companies are limited by how much they can raise by the maximum on their MLR, the medical loss ratio.
But I mean, you're talking about raise. I'm talking about just overall, right? If I'm giving someone $1,000, does that mean the insurance company goes, okay, great, I can start there? Because that's from Uncle Sam, and then I go on top of that.
No, that's not the way the subsidies work. The insurance companies bid for people to buy coverage, and that includes people who aren't getting any subsidies, people who make more than 400% of the poverty line, or about $98,000. And they bid, and then the government comes in and says, we're going to provide subsidies balanced to the second lowest silver plan, and that means no one knows when they start bidding what the second lowest silver plan is. So they can't just bump up how much they're going to charge people. So, Steve,
before you jump in,
so that's just totally false.
Okay, so before you jump in, Steve, let me just play what the president says, because he obviously sees this completely differently. Here's how he put it today.
That money was a subsidy and almost, you could say, a payoff to insurance companies. The subsidy is really a subsidy for the insurance company. That's not going to people. That's making insurance companies rich.
Okay, so, Steve, does he misunderstand? Zeke just explained it totally differently.
No, it's a bailout of the insurance companies and the exchanges. And look, one of the central promises, Zeke, was that Obamacare wasn't going to add to the budget deficit. Remember that one? That was another lie. I mean, now we've got to put another $10 or $15 billion behind the exchanges this year. And I guarantee you, Aaron, if we're here next year, it's going to be $20 billion because the costs are escalating so much.
Steve,
and so,
this is
look,
just full
let me make one
of,
other point, Zeke. You were just making the point
Steve,
that the
you're not
CEO
telling
says
the truth,
system,
and I'm not going to let you tell
well, look,
lies.
The system,
You're
you
telling
said the
a lie
system.
here.
No, you said the system
We
is stabilizing.
Okay,
and we have the
$100
insurance
billion.
companies.
Okay, hold on. So, Zeke, you're saying what? You saved $100 billion on what?
First of all, everyone says we saved $100 billion, and we saved even more because healthcare inflation has actually been pretty steady over the last 5 years, and the Congressional Budget Office keeps ratcheting down how much actually Obamacare is costing. The second point to make is President Obama.
Okay, hold on, Steve, respond to his point. Steve, respond to the point.
If you're right that the inflation rate is down for health care, then why are people's premiums going up 25 and 50 and 100%?
I will explain it to you, Steve. It does
why
make
is
sense.
that, Zeke? Why if costs are not going up, why are insurance premiums going up?
Should be going down, not up.
I will explain, Steve, if you give me a second.
Okay, go.
The reason the insurance premiums are going up is not because underlying healthcare costs are going up. The reason the insurance premiums are going up in the exchange is because of the pool. How many sick people versus how many healthy people. Right. That's not about healthcare inflation, Steve, and you seem confused about that fact.
But Zeke, what you're missing is what most people care
Steve,
about.
would you let me finish?
What most people care about is what they're paying for insurance, and that's going way up. They don't care about the overall cost of the whole healthcare system. What American families care about is why are my own insurance premiums
Zeke, go ahead.
So, okay.
Steve?
Go ahead.
What President Trump just did is going to send insurance premiums up an average of 23%. That's hardly lowering them. And it is not, the cost-sharing subsidies are not, as the president said, a bailout to the insurance companies.
But aren't they already going up 20-something% on average, Zeke?
That's the thing.
They're already going up by that. So if you're getting rid of subsidies, which is money in, and premiums are going up the same, that would seem on balance just back of the envelope cheaper.
You don't have that correct. Premiums have been going up because there are more sick people, because the president has badmouthed the exchange, said we're not enforcing the mandate, and healthy people are dropping out as a result. The pool is sicker. That raises premium. On top of that, the president,
that's the point I was just making.
On top of that, Steve, let me finish.
Okay, go.
On top of that, because the cost-sharing subsidies are being eliminated, it will be an additional 23%. And let me tell you something. The people who are really hit by this are people who are paying out-of-pocket full price and getting no subsidies. Because the people who are getting subsidies for the premium are actually somewhat buffered by those price increases.
And I'll hit pause there.
And the people who are buying insurance.
Thank you both so very much.